Hello.
Hello,
Hello, Star Wars
hello,
players.
Star Wars players.
All right. How you doing?
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to Star Wars
hello,
CCG
Matt.
Holotheatre with our special guest, Matt Carulli. How you doing, Matt?
I'm great tonight. How are you guys?
Oh,
We're
it's a
doing all right.
wonderful. It is a wonderful, warm Wednesday. Wow, I almost said Sunday.
Revenge of the 6th.
Yeah.
I thought it was Revenge
Canada
of
is
the
actually
Fifth.
freezing in Pittsburgh right now. You wouldn't believe how cold it is here. It's going to be like 32 overnight.
Yeah, that's what my sister and her family were saying. But yeah,
Oh,
so
it was 70 degrees. I played frisbee golf today.
Well, you broke quarantine to go play frisbee golf.
I think you're allowed to exercise. I mean, there was 100 other dudes there breaking quarantine as well. So.
I think that defeats the purpose there, Jerry.
I had my mask on, and I
oh yes, a mask. You hid your face, but yet you still got 100 people sick.
So I got you sick, apparently.
That's my allergies. That's my allergies. I was doing yard work earlier.
You're allergic to my bullshit, you said, huh?
That too. So yeah. So how are you doing today, Matt? You are the PC's multimedia and special project advocate. So for those who are watching, do you want to explain like what it is that you do? Because that's a big title.
It's a lot of words. I usually hope that people forget all the words that are in it. Like Dan, you were asking me earlier today, like, is it like special projects and multimedia? Because that would be spam, but no, it's not that.
You could be the spam advocate.
Yeah, say the special ed advocate.
So what I do mostly is I see myself as like a project manager for a lot of our tech stuff that we're doing, like GIMP and the website. And I've been trying to work on like the deck database website. We've been working on for a while. So kind of things like that, the tech initiative stuff. I do a lot of the administrative stuff on the forums. So kind of as I go with that regard. But mostly whenever I left design, I was like, I don't want to stop helping the PC. So I was like, can we just make a job up for me and I'll take it? And it seemed to fit pretty well.
So
there you go.
So you're the person who basically did almost all the legwork for the NPC weekend, correct?
No, Gogolin gets a lot of credit for that. So basically anytime something big happens, if it's like GIMP related, I don't do the work, obviously. I just kind of make sure that there's someone there to do it. So the GIMP development team, just like every one of them worked so hard on so many different things for the NPC to make sure that it went right. And then Gogolin did all the planning from the tournament perspective. So I was a very small part of that. I did some streaming too, I guess. So that was fun.
Yeah.
Thanks to your guys' help. And
that was the streaming team got a lot of dudes set up for streaming for the first time that weekend, and it went off pretty well.
And now I'm on Discord again, streaming more. So you guys got me hooked.
Well, that's right. I mean, once you do one, it's really fun. I know you did commentary for Worlds a couple years ago up in Minnesota.
I've done it a few times. Yeah.
Yeah. So why didn't you play in the NPC? I know all the Pittsburgh guys really did. You were the only one. You were the one. You and Josh Mack, let me say.
Yeah. Well, it's really funny because everyone is always shocked to hear this, but I don't like playing online very much. And they're like, "But you're in charge of GIMP," and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't really know how to explain it. I like helping out with it and making sure that we get things prioritized and done. But for me, I like the cardboard in your hand, sitting across the table from somebody much more than I like playing online."
Yeah, I think I'm the same way as well. Online will always have its place, and it's certainly not going away. And then we're integrating it here more and more. But for me, Star Wars will always be sleeves in hand and sitting face to face against somebody. So
yes,
yeah. And hopefully we'll be able to do that soon. I know there was talks about summer tournament, but with everything under the question mark still, we're just in a wait and see process. We know Worlds is still scheduled for October. The Europeans have a tournament scheduled for September, so they're still going to be. We still are working on live in-person Star Wars.
The summer might be a little more questionable. We're still working behind the scenes on that, but we just with everything and travel and all that, the summer might be a little less major event filled. But we don't know that for sure, and we'll definitely touch on that when we have more info.
Yeah.
But definitely looking forward to Worlds, and for the Europeans, the European Continental Nationals, whatever they call it over there.
Yeah.
European Championship, EC.
I went to Worlds last year in Europe, and it was fantastic. I really wish I could go to Euros this year because it's actually on my birthday weekend. And I feel like that would be just a fantastic trip, but I can't swing it again this year. But
back to back, that'd be tough.
That would be really nice. I think Kessling might do them back to back or back to back to back. He goes a lot.
Yeah, it must be nice.
I would just say for anyone in the States, just go sometime, like put it on your bucket list, because it was a blast. Everybody was super nice. We had a great time. I love Germany in general. It's just a great place to visit. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, definitely was on my list. Definitely it was unfortunate we weren't able to make it out there last year, but Dan and I were also part of the commentary team that pitched in. At least that was fun. It was an experience.
It was interesting.
That weekend, I've heard.
Yeah, it was an experience. So always remember that.
So Matt, besides like the GIMP and stuff, what are some of the other special projects that you're in charge of?
Dan, you're just trying to like get me to run out of things and be like, is that all you do? Like, that's it? Like,
yeah. I want to know.
Why are you even?
Our viewers want to know. I've had people ask me, what does Matt Carulli do?
Well, that's the secret, is like always keep them guessing. I honestly, like I said before, I like to help wherever I can. And if there's something that comes up that's like, hey, we need to figure something out, that I'm happy to jump in there and help out. Like there's so many different projects we have going on that's why we like had trouble coming up with a real title for it, because it was like, I want like to help wherever I can and be like a very versatile advocate. So like we picked a name that's, very, I don't know, generic and non-descriptive, somewhat on purpose.
So while we have like Chris Kelly, who's in charge of the advocate for design, Chris Schoenthal, who's our tournament advocate, you're basically our advocate who is a jack of all trades.
Most people call me like the GIMP advocate. I think I've heard that before. So that's fine for me.
Okay.
We work a lot with like GitHub and other tools. And we're working on getting GIMP open source. It's been a long time coming, but we're getting pretty close to where we can make it open source so that anybody out there who has the skills can just contribute, like missing cards or bug fixes, and we wouldn't have to wait for the development team to fix it, because they have a lot of other priorities and things like that. So once we do that, it's going to be fantastic, because, there's so many, I know, talented developers that are in our community that are not part of the GIMP team. And they've been wanting to contribute for a while. I know I've talked to some people specifically, and once we do that, it's going to make everything go so much smoother. We're going to have bug fixes faster. We might get a lot of the Decipher cards that aren't coded yet actually coded.
The quirky cards, as I like to call them.
Yeah. And if I can go on a tangent
Please
about some Decipher cards. So
we're here.
Right after set 12 was released, some of the developers were like, hey, like, set's out, there's no playtesting cards yet. What can we do? We have all this time. And I was like, do me a personal favor and code for me a couple Dagobah cards, At Peace, the 7 Destiny, WoW Interrupt, a few of the other missing things, because CRG and Corin and I have talked about doing a this is going to sound crazy, but we're doing a closed environment Dagobah match, light side versus dark side.
Okay.
Only Dagobah cards. And there's only one house rule that we need to make, because light side literally cannot win unless there's like some other trick, because light side has Yoda and Son of Skywalker, and that's the only characters we will search.
Yeah.
So we said, if light side can complete Jedi Test 5 before their life force is depleted, they win. So that's our goal.
The win condition. Okay.
Yes. And so we need
just
a few
characters.
I mean, we need a few cards, and At Peace and the 7 Destiny WoW Interrupt were two of the cards that I wanted specifically for that. So I didn't quite abuse my powers and be like, you need to code this for me because I really want to play this match, but I strongly suggested it. But I know I'm not the only one who want At Peace as well. Scott's been asking for At Peace for a while, I think.
He's been
all
playing.
those mind what you have learned players.
Yeah. I know Ryan Searson has basically taken up the mantle. He's been playing. That's all he's been playing on GIMP in the last few days.
I've seen it a couple times for sure.
Yeah, he's played it. I know he just posted on the Star Wars the meme thread where people were like, "Oh, ban Grimlock needs banned." And he just went on there, showed a GIF essentially where he drew as his training destiny a Grimtoss Shocking Revelation, took it into hand, and his opponent just conceded.
Cards. It's a very good GIF. Yeah.
Okay, I'm watching it right now. Actually.
Jerry, I see that you're.
Yeah, that I even drew the little troll faces on there.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I like the
the
artistic.
he was even
as
nice
well as the
enough to
creative.
cover up the opponent's name. That's
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done that. That's
I
just
would have called
funny.
him out. Yeah, I would have called him out.
It was probably Dan.
No, I've only played one OCS game this month so far, and
yes.
Oh, okay. I've only played a few games so far this month. I've played one OCS versus Stubley. I played his No Idea versus he was playing a SSA Dig Up a Cave deck. Again, I played his No Idea, and I was like, well, I ended up beating him. Yes, it was on Chris Goglin's show, and yeah, but outside of that, yeah, I've seen a lot of interesting decks so far this month.
Well, the NPC list had a lot of stuff. You mentioned the Dig Up a Cave deck that was what Jared Consker played to go to the top 4.
It was a neat deck.
The Steel's Getting Worse All the Time, played by a lot of the guys on one of the. I don't even know what their name of their team is. Is it Team 5 or is it Team
5?
It's either Team 5 or New Allies.
To me they're the same. I don't know the difference between those two teams. Sorry, guys. No. They're just two teams with like 20 people each. So I don't know. The first teams to emerge to outnumber Team Pittsburgh. So,
Team Pittsburgh only has like 2 or 3 people on it that actually really matter.
Oh man!
Ouch!
Me and Reed, is that it?
His own team that he's calling out.
Pretty much.
I mean, I'm more than willing to admit that Justin Miyashiro is the only good player so far on Team High Ground.
Okay, I will say
there's only like 4 of us.
Your brother actually is a good player as well. He did. You and him both have made the playing games at Worlds.
I have respect for Justin. He's a
solid player.
Yeah.
I have to mention this now that I'm on the show here is the World's fantasy picks last year in Europe. Dan decided to go with my brother on his team, and I think he finished 4 maybe, and then I ended up in 9th place, and Dan was kicking himself because you would have had a really good team had you picked me, right?
I had a really good team in general. I only lost to Hayes. I think I lost to Hayes by like 1 point. So if I would have picked you, I would have won.
I feel like it's often when you two are both playing in an event, you and your brother, one of you guys does good and the other one doesn't do so well. So it's like trying to predict which one of the Carullis will perform.
Yeah, well, I think we usually both finish 5 and 3. I think we're always almost around like 5 and 3. And one of us is sometimes 6 and 2. I've had the miracle day when I was completely hungover and I finished 7 and 1 at nationals. So that was some home field advantage though. So miracles happen.
That's right. When you can sleep in your own bed,
it makes a huge difference.
It does. When you're not sleeping next to a Reed Smith when he's snoring really loud.
Speak for yourself, Dan.
Yeah. So
I'm not a snorer, so I don't have
yes,
to
you are.
worry about this. Have we shared rooms before?
Yes, we have. You, me, and Matt have actually shared a room before.
Oh.
I don't remember that either, Jerry.
That was at Worlds.
Okay.
When Phil
Worlds
won.
in Minnesota then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jerry, did he drug us? I don't remember this either.
Yeah, I think Mike Turner brought some pretty good weed that time, so I don't really remember.
That's not my excuse. I don't know what my excuse is.
Your excuse was you hit the bar a little too hard.
Maybe.
Yeah. So, Matt, is there anything else that you can actually tell the viewers about like what the PC has coming up? I know Set 12 just came out. Do you want to give anything like some spoilers or anything about what the PC is looking at for Set 13? Is there any like big projects that they're working on besides like GIMP?
So Set 13 is a question for Chris Kelly and his team. I can't really step on their toes.
That's fair.
But we were talking before the show, Dan, about how you asked me to come on the show, and I was kind of like, well, I have no movies to promote right now. I'm like, John Mulaney was hosting SNL a few months ago, and he was like, yeah, I've got nothing to promote. I'm just here. I don't know why they asked me here. And that's kind of how I feel right now. So as far as other projects, like I know we're working on, I told you guys about the open source GEMP stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're working on improving the process for playtesting cards in GEMP.
Okay.
I think we saw a huge improvement the last few sets with playtesting on there. And not only does it help like the playtesting and design and development part of it, but it helped us get the cards released on time for the release date. Mm-hmm. Because before, if it wasn't in GEMP, we'd have to code it like all like by the last minute. But now that we have good reason to work on it early, like as it's being updated, it gets out a lot faster.
Play testers are catching the bugs too.
Exactly.
As opposed to just releasing them and then saying, okay, well, let us know.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been a lot of really good benefits for that. So we have a good timeline for set 13. And again, that's a Chris Kelly question for sharing those nuggets. But it's going to, they worked really hard to make sure that everything fit with GIMP and the developers. And, we have a good timeline worked out. So pretty excited for that.
Okay.
Awesome.
So in your role, there's like nobody else that you really work with. You're your own entity. So you're not like, you don't have a team. You're just you.
No, I wouldn't say that. I work with the advocates all the time. I work with the tournament committee and the streaming guys. I've talked to you guys a lot about a lot of things. So I like I said, I'm trying to help out wherever I can and work with whoever, needs some assistance on getting something done.
Okay. So speaking of which, I was going to say, you and I want to say Chris Kelly actually came up with like an idea because 2 days ago was May the 4th. So we wanted to do something special for Star Wars, and it was announced that Chris Kelly was going to give out a designer card to a lucky player. So as long as that player went on to GAMP, played a game, and then went on to any of the social accounts, either Twitter or Facebook, and posted a link, said something cool about the game or just in general, they would be entered. So I think we actually are tonight. We got the okay to announce the winner. So I think at this point, Matt, I want you to pick a number between 1 and 15.
Okay, I'm gonna go with 7. Lucky number 7.
Okay. Okay. So, 1, 2, 3.
You got a drum roll, Jerry?
Oh, it's not yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm making a list right now. So I counted down I have a little list of the players. So the number 1 is Sean Dixon. So from then,
does that mean that he wins?
No.
I would guess that he doesn't win. I'm guessing
he doesn't win. So I'm going to go onto my phone. I have a random number generator app on my phone, and we're going to do it that way.
So we're double randomizing this.
We're double randomizing it, so nobody has any favoritisms.
All right.
Yeah, I just want to also, while Dan's doing his calculations here, I want to say that this was Chris Kelly's idea.
Yes.
He's got a huge marketing background. He's like, hey, this is May the 4th be with you. We've got to do something nice for it. And he was the one that stepped up and it's like, oh, I'm willing to give out a virtual card design for this. So I was like, all right, cool. So I talked to you about it a little bit, Dan, and try to get some ideas going with marketing. And I was glad that Chris stepped up and donated that.
Yeah, I mean, a virtual card design is nothing to
Nah. And I know what some of the stipulations are, that you can't design like a main character, you can't do an admiral's order, no objectives.
Right. Yeah, standard
nothing like pod race. No pod race. You can make a pod racing helper, but you can't make any like pod racers or.
Wait, you can't make pod racers? Is that a rule?
I think
it's a rule, but I don't think you can do like an epic event.
Okay. No. Well, no, you couldn't do an epic event. Yeah. But I feel like if someone wants to do a pod racer, I wouldn't tell them no.
That's
fair. That's pretty sweet.
And just for Robbie, because it's Robbie, no missions.
No missions.
Well, missions aren't a thing. I don't know why he mentioned missions.
Yeah. That was a legacy card type for those.
So I have the number up. I'm going to click the roll button. Ready? Okay, number 13 is our winner.
Number 13.
Number 13.
Which is a lucky number in Italy.
Is Stephen Fulner.
All right.
Fungineer, right?
Fungineer is our winner.
Well deserved.
Wow.
Fungineer
so Fungineer making a card. He's going to have something great.
Yeah, he's going to make something fun.
The guy's a fantastic volunteer. Well deserved. He helps out so much with player card development already and rules. Like, he's on top of it. He's a great guy. Very happy for him. Congratulations, Steve.
Glad to see him coming out with it. I know we mentioned Sean Dixon winning. I'm sorry, Sean. You were close, but
yeah. We had to change it because it would have looked like it was fixed with Sean being
a little bit because he's
too much Pittsburgh favoritism.
Right. Yeah. Can't have that.
But yeah, Fungineer, he's A+ in my book. That's awesome. I think he already has at least one other card design, but I'm not sure off the top of my head. So yeah, congrats. That was fun. I'm glad we were able to sort of, capture something with May the 4th, and all that. It definitely felt a little different this year, not being able to go outside and, I don't know, go see a Star Wars movie. I know a lot of times people go out and see marathons in person, or they do, fun stuff like that. But at least being able to get on GIMP and play a few games and spread the word, and hopefully maybe get a few more eyes on the PC is always a good thing.
Yeah, and apparently, according to Chris Kelly, he's the player card development lead. So
yeah,
so he has to ask permission from himself.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, so he's like, all right. He's going to ask the player card development lead if he's able to make an epic event, and he's just going to get a yes out of it. So
yeah, maybe he will get to make an objective or a main character or whatever.
You know what? I want to see some clone stuff. If nobody else has watched the last few episodes of the Clone Wars cartoon,
no, I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen the last season yet. It's on my list.
I'm going to say this: we need to make something clone related. I've been wanting to see an Old Man Rex card for a while.
Yeah, he would be good with some of the Rebels characters because he was on that one. Yeah, I mean, there's the tiptoes in that direction of a clones deck with the Camino system and the clone chambers and all that. So, at some point they can put an objective around it, or some of those cards are already being used in like WAP and Hyperdrive and what have you. But I think that's something we can lean into for the next few sets for sure.
Okay, so I think it's time we go into our normal segments. We talked about Matt. We've pestered Matt about what he does for so long.
A good 22 minutes or so.
Yeah, I mean, so I say we start to swing and a miss. It's a hit. Jerry, as always, I like to let you start us off.
All right, I got to pull up my list here from our Slack chat. Give me 1 second. All right, my first one. One thing I've noticed this week is that Y4 Ops has been on GIMP like crazy this week. OCS games, casual games, whatever. Is that because it's sort of one of the better decks out there to deal with ISB, AOBS? I don't know how to put that in it's a hit, swing or miss format, but yeah, basically Yops is good to deal with those. It's a hit, swing and a miss.
Dan, why don't you go first there?
I'm going to say it's a miss. I like Y4 Ops. The problem with Y4 Ops, as I see it right now, is it's still kind of slow. Whereas ISB and AOBS can be really, really fast. And being able just to, once you just hold Coruscant especially, and like with Guri on the Falling's Fist is really good. So, I mean, yeah, you can spin and do stuff like that, but I think Y4 Ops is still maybe like a tier 2. I like better light side decks to fight those two decks with, but I think I still think that Y4 Ops needs a little bit, maybe something on the ground, especially on the ground, because you're only playing you're only playing like 2 projections. It's so, I mean, you're essentially telling your opponent, okay, if they see Y4 Ops, you don't have a ground game, really. I mean, you might have like an EPP or 2, but
yeah.
I'm gonna say swing and a miss as well. I've never been a huge fan of the deck. Every time I've tried playing it, like you mentioned, Dan, there's not really much of a ground presence. I feel that when I play it, like I don't want to just play all space. So I try to take advantage of like the power +3 related sites and some of the Admiral's orders that can help you with that kind of stuff with the docking bay. And I can never get that to work. When I go space only, then I feel like it's very reliant on drawing an early 5. Otherwise, you're just like paying to drain for 1 early on, or maybe 2 if you're at Narshada. As far as the specific matchup of Black Sun and ISB, I mean, I don't think it's fast enough, like you mentioned, Dan. Like, I think you could probably take Black Sun out of space. I think you've got the firepower for that, but I don't think you can do it fast enough when you're taking damage from like the Emperors drawing with shadows and drains on the ground. And, they're pretty resilient in space themselves when they get Guri up there with, a bunch of aliens and pilots. So I don't think it's great for Black Sun. ISB, I think, might be the best dark side deck right now. And I don't think Y4 Ops is very well suited to take it down. So I'm going to say swing and a miss.
Yeah, I mean, it's when I was writing this question, I was sort of wondering if people were trying to figure out if Y-Ops was good against those 2 decks, and maybe they're just sort of just testing it out.
Yeah,
I think, like you said, ISB, it could be. I feel like it could be better against ISB than against AOBS, just because you could knock both the decks out of space. But I don't know, like you said, the speed is an issue with Y4 ops, and I just feel like no one's found the best sort of way to build it yet. I liked it back before the Like My Father Before Me errata, where you could go with Luke on the ground and sort of build it like a Watch Your Step deck, but obviously that's no longer the case. So I applaud people for trying it out, but I've always been a fan of the deck, but I'm not sure that it's where it needs to be, at least especially speed wise.
Yeah, so there was the Beefred ISB deck from like a year ago or so, and he didn't play any Battleground sites, and I could see it doing pretty well against something like that. You know, when he needs his Presence of the Force to get a site out.
Because it doesn't work on Yavin,
It doesn't work on Yavin. So like I could see it doing well in that matchup specific, but I think ISB's changed a bit since then to the point where, you know, they've got some Battleground.
Flip siding away, they have to start a Battleground. So.
Right. So I think that, plus they've got tons of pilots, put them on the stock or something like that. I think current ISB is perfectly fine to handle that matchup.
100%. All right, Dan, what's your first one?
So I actually submitted a question about it. You know what? It's been beaten to hell to death, so I'm actually going to change one of them. So the first one for me is going to be, we still haven't found the best build for ISB. I mean, we've all been talking that ISB is probably the best dark side deck, but who's got the best build out there right now? So I'm saying the question that I'm presenting is, we still don't have the best build for ISB yet.
Okay.
Go
ahead.
I'll go first. I think it's definitely a hit. I think there's definitely better builds out there. We've seen a lot of really good builds, but I definitely think that there's so many. It's so open-ended right now with your starting ratio being buffed. I think there's so many different ways you can go that I definitely think we haven't seen the best version of it yet.
Yeah, I would also say that we still haven't found it, so it's a hit for that one. You know, it's only been the NPC since the slip siding away has really come out and sort of changed everything around. And I think once we see the summer meta develop and all that, I think people will keep refining. I think people are on the right track, and obviously there's sort of like the divide of like, do you go with the stormtrooper garrisons and the field promotion and that style, and then the other style I think plays more like walkers and sort of plays more like a traditional like ROPS entanglement sort of style. But they both have their merits and their wings that they do well, but I think people still exactly haven't found the best overall list yet.
So I actually played a game with Apollyon. I'm going to butcher his name. I always do.
I just call him Apollo.
Yeah, there you go.
Wait, Apollyon or Napolitano?
Apollyon.
Yeah, the Boston guy.
All right, yeah.
So I played a game against him on GEMP. It was an OCS last month. His ISB versus my throne room, and his was a trooper. It was a trooper's beast. He just kept throwing trooper after trooper at me. I mean, I had Luke on the table the entire game, but I couldn't get rid of his troopers. And so that right there, I like that version. It's solid. It's still a little slow from what I've seen. I like ISB to be fast or limit your opponent to what it can do. So I like the old version of you play like no battlegrounds except for like maybe one or two systems, and you best throw down like the big blue executor for free or for 2. You stack it up, and then you just have your guys going around doing their thing. But I like that version. I think people are starting to figure out where to go with it, but I still think it's going to be like maybe 2-3 weeks until we see like ISB dominating the format.
I mean,
people know it's a good deck, so if they discover that they might have a real fire list, then you won't see it on GEMP until the next major or something.
I don't know.
Like that.
I mean, people want to win and make the OCS.
That's fair. I mean, I suppose if they are trying to make the OCS, they got to do what they got to do.
So I think it's your question.
All right, my next one. So one thing that we sort of have going on in the new stuff is the 2020 version of the Jawa Cup. So rather than it being a like tournament with pairings the way Taco Bell did it last year, Corin Kendall, he kind of took the lead on the Jawa Cup stuff, and I think they're still working on everything, but it's going to be just like a GEMP league, right?
Okay.
So my my question to you guys and to everybody watching is, the Jawa Cup during a given month will have just as many games as the OCS played per month. Is that it's a hit or swing and a miss?
I'm going to say it's a hit. People like the Jawa format. I mean, especially when you're taking away like decks, like Throne Room, like ISB, like Court, like Hitco, stuff like that. Where I mean, you see all these like top tier decks that people always play. So now you get that more creative. Like you can see like a Y4 Ops, or maybe you'll see like
WAP or
WAP,
Senate
or My Kind of Scum, or Light Side and Dark Side Senate ASM. That's a big deck. So yeah, I think people are going to do it. I mean, I haven't signed up for it yet. But yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of games.
I think they're still figuring out the logistics and getting it all figured out. But by the time it does start, was sort of my lean in for that. So what do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I think it's a hit too. I think Dan hit on all the big points. Everyone loves that format. They like the change of pace. I think right after trying PC, like you see all of these new decks that they're kind of excited to play them. They're going to play them for a month or so now, and then once the Jawa Cup's up, they're going to be tired of playing against ISB, and they're going to be tired of playing against Throne Room and that kind of stuff. And I think definitely people, no idea, they're gonna make the shift. Interesting that Diplo is now legal for the Jawa Cup this year, which is a pretty big change. I think it's easily going to be the most popular light side deck, but then there's also the tech that was kind of discovered at the NPC of the new Vader's Custom Tie, which would cancel 3PO's game text and prevent them from going down to the Dune Sea, which could be a big blow. So I think we might see a lot of counterplay in the Jawa Cup in that regard, because I think people are going to expect a lot of Diplo, and then they might say like, okay, well, I'm going to play Vader's Custom Tie. But
so in regards to that specific, the Vader's Custom Tie interaction, do you feel like that's an unintended interaction, or is that something you feel like that PC will fix via errata, making it work again, or is that something that you're sort of okay with and is sort of creative?
I think it was unintended, but I'm not positive, and I think it may get fixed before the end of the year. I don't know how pressing it is, because So I made Diplo.
Chris Kelly says in the chat, he says 100% unintended and 100% awesome.
That's because his teammate went well with it. I mean, that's because Jared did better than him in the NPC. So of course he's going to be like, "Oh, I'm happy with it."
Touche.
Honestly, I mean, I don't always like kind of like the RPS type stuff where it's like if you have a counter, then like their card's negated. But I also, as the person that designed Diplo a number of years ago, I think it's okay that it's kind of seen its time. And if this is a kind of change that is going to make people play Diplo a little bit less, I think that's totally fine. I think that could help with some deck diversity for light side. So, like on one hand, I don't like there being such a hard counter to what was, we would put a lot of effort into making that. All the wording on R2 and 3PO was very hard to pull off.
Yeah.
And at the time, obviously, the Vader's Custom Tie didn't work against it. And so it was intended to not be able to be messed with like that. But now that it is, it's okay to me that it wasn't get played as much, because it's seen a lot of very good days.
I mean, and that's fair. I mean, Diplo, it's a fun deck. People do like it. And I think it has a kind of a feel like an IE deck, which people like a lot as well. So I can see it. And according to the chat, Jared wants to see it errata, so that interaction. I don't know, maybe just put on to Tandem where it says if R2 and C3PO, that specific card is on board, their game text can't be canceled. Boom.
Fixed. I mean, I think you could also just put non-droid character on the Vader's Custom Tie.
Yeah, something like that.
And that way they couldn't target droids at all.
Yeah. Okay, so on to the next question.
That's yours, right?
That was yours about the Jawa Cup, sir.
Yeah. So I'm saying the next one is yours.
Yeah. So right now, today, Wednesday the 6th, Greg Shaw has currently played 11 games of the OCS. That's a lot in 6 days. He's currently 10-1. So Greg Shaw is currently a lock to make the OCS this month.
So I mean, 10-1. is pretty good. He's got to get one more win. It would be great for sort of an automatic, like I think 11-1 pretty much always makes it. So a lock is tough, but I'll go ahead and say it's a hit for that. I think he's got it.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's a miss. He's certainly not a lock. He's got. So just to make sure I understand the question correctly, you're saying that Greg is a lock to qualify this month?
Yes.
No, I don't think he's a lock. I mean, 10-1 is great. I think there's been a few months already this year where there've been multiple people at 11-1, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so, and it's come down to like their strength of schedule.
Yeah, and right now Greg's strength of schedule is 37, which is not great. So
it's a good number.
But I mean, it still is early, so I mean, as it goes on, his opponents might rise or fall, increasing or decreasing his strength of schedule. You know what? I'm going to say this: going 11-1, I think Greg is a lot. I think Greg, out of anybody in the OCS, has a better chance than like your average player. I could see him. I'm going to say he's going to go 11-1. So I believe Greg is going to go 11-1, and he's going to make it. So. It's a hit.
All right.
I believe in you, Greg, and I know you're watching. So two of the three of us are rooting for you.
So, okay, now let me clarify here for a second. Greg, you're a great guy. When I say that this is a miss, I'm not disrespecting you or your game at all. Like
Dan
you've already
is the best at making people look mean on Holotheatre.
I think Greg very well could go 11-1, and it's out of his hands at that point if he qualifies.
Yeah.
So
it'd be good if his last game was against someone who ended up with a good strength of schedule for sure. So
it would help him.
If you get him above 40% at least, that would be
There's
good.
a lot of time left for great opponents who most likely have not played 10 games to get their win percentage up too. So it's not like his 37 is like stuck at 37 the rest of the month.
No.
Right. Yeah. If he can get it up in the 40s, he'd probably feel a little bit better about his tiebreakers. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that's my next one. So one thing we saw at the NPC and also that I've been seeing in the OCS and GEMP is that Old Allies is a no-show. Pretty much, it was a no-show at the NPC, and I haven't been seeing it much. So Old Allies is dead. Is that it's a hit or swing and a miss?
I'm going to let Matt take the lead on this one.
So I'm going to say swing and a miss, and because Jerry was not specific enough with the question, I think OA is going to make plenty of appearances in the Jawa Cup. I believe Legend is banned in Jawa Cup.
Yes.
Is that right? So with Legend banned, I think the Brave Resistance platform goes back to Old Allies, and I think Old Allies will see some decent play in the Jawa Cup. Now, if you're going to talk about like open format or like OCS, then it might be that because just if you're going to play a Brave Resistance, then that's like I think the biggest benefit from Old Allies. Then you might as well play Legend. And we saw a lot of changes to Old Allies the last year or so that I just don't really think there's a good reason to play it over other decks right now.
Mm-hmm.
At least in the Jawa Cup, there will be no court. So that's another.
Yeah, I was going to say CRG actually just said that in the chat. So good. Good minds are thinking alike.
Also, one thing I saw in the chat too, Greg Shaw is actually playing his game right now. His OCS game against Jared Napolitano.
So it's a good opponent. That's a good opponent.
Yeah. So we'll see how that one goes for him. And if
actually,
if you're watching,
I'm pretty sure Jared's currently 7-0.
Yeah, he's got a good run. He's at least 6-0, if not 7-0.
That right there, either way is if Greg can win that game, that's going to help him out in the long run. But we'll stay tuned to that game. So if you guys want to give an update or anything as we're here.
Yeah, so the matchup is AOBS from Jared against TRM. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. Two decks that literally everybody has been saying are the two best decks right now, and everybody just keeps...
So for my answer, I'll also say OA is dead with sort of the asterisk that Matt kind of gave us. So Jawa Cup, it'll be a stud deck for sure, but in the standard open OCS type meta, I feel like Old Allies is in a tough spot just because the court matchup is really hard. The hunt down matchup got a lot harder with the errata to not being able to change drains on the Jakku sites and stuff. So I think Old Allies is sort of in a bad. So like you said, Legend has sort of replaced Old Allies spot in the meta. At least it feels like for a lot of us.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say OA is dead, 100%. I mean, yeah, we're gonna see it in the Jawa Cup, but for the OCS open format majors, unless your name is like Emil or Bastion, OA is dead. And I like OA. I like the control aspect of OA, and that hurts me to say it's dead. But you know what? There are other decks that I have liked over the years that have been dead for a while. So
Yeah,
I mean, one of my favorite decks out that I've ever played was the old Watcher Step V, and that went dead.
It's basically
hard.
Old Allies.
Yeah, like I said, I'm a control. I like control. I love control. If anybody plays Magic, I'm a blue player. So
yeah, that's fair. I mean, people have their play styles, and there's other light side, decks you could experiment with other stuff control wise, but yeah. So that was I think we're on your next one, right, Dan?
So for my next one, we're going to go back to the OCS, not make a little prediction. Bastion is going to make the OCS this month. He's currently 2-0.
Currently 2-0.
So the reason I'm bringing this up is last night on GAMP, we were talking, and B-Fred has actually said that because the meta is starting to shift itself out and because Bastion is getting some time, he now knows what to play and is going to go 12-0 this month. This was
12-0.
I am quoting lightly B-Fred. So
okay. I mean, obviously, no one would put Bastion past the 12-0, of course.
Yeah.
I obviously, 2-0 is a good start. He's got 25 days to. Frank Turner says Shaw just grimtashed 3 Emperors out of JNAP's hand in AOBS.
Wow.
Okay. But back to Bastion. Obviously whenever he's playing and he's on his game, you can't bet against him. So I mean, 2-0 is a great start, but obviously you got 10 more games and you got to win probably 9 of them for sure. So, I'll go ahead and say swing and a miss just because that's pretty hard to do.
Okay, Jerry, I'm gonna say it for Dan. You obviously think Bastion's a terrible player, and saying swing and miss on that. Yeah, I mean, it's just what Dan was thinking.
No,
so.
it wasn't.
If Shaw doesn't have it locked up at 10-1 and he's playing this game right now, then no one can lock it up because I mean it's tough. Obviously, no one's going to bet against Bastion, but I'm just gonna
Jerry would.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for anybody to do that, especially if he knows what he's playing. He guess he's figured out the meta. Maybe he's got it, but show it to me first. I'd be willing to be proven wrong.
I'm going
to say it's a hit. Bastion's going to make
Bastion's a hit. Yeah. I think he's going to go I think he could easily go 11-1, 12-0 any month. Yeah. So it would be foolish to bet against him. So I'm going to say it's a hit just so Dan doesn't say that I think Bastion's terrible.
No, I wasn't going to say that. I was not going to say that. I swear. I know. I'm going to say this. I will defend my Pittsburgh brothers to the death. And I think I've ragged on you guys enough today.
I mean, obviously, the exit. Bastion is the GOAT. He's got 3 world championships. He can make the OCS.
The only thing you have to know about Bastion is he's the only Star Wars CCG player with a Wikipedia page. That's it. That's all you got to know.
Well, there you go. That's what we all aspire for, right?
Right.
All right. So my last one is sort of back to the Jawa Cup. One of the hosts of Holotheatre, so Dan or myself, will get a top 5 in the 2020 Jawa Cup. It's a hit or swing and a miss.
Matt,
so I'm definitely going to play.
Matt's shaking his head. Matt is shaking his head.
That is swinging Darth Maul's lightsaber at LSJK with Luke's lightsaber, and you draw 2 zeros.
That's a pretty big whiff.
Sorry, guys.
Ouch.
A lot of people are going to play.
So. Yeah, a lot of people are going to play.
It's going to be a huge field. That's the thing. Is like there's going to be, like I said, I think there's going to be just as many Java players as there are OCS players.
Yeah.
Right.
I love you guys. Top 5 is tough in a big field like that.
Right.
So I'm going to say swing and a miss.
I'm going to say it's a hit.
Woo!
Is it going to be you or is it going to be Jerry?
Jerry.
All right.
I have faith in Jerry. He's gonna put down this thing that he's been smoking for 5 minutes and actually come out there and play a good game of Star Wars.
I like the Jawa Cup. I did pretty well. We had a Jawa Cup tournament in our local our local scene, and I went undefeated, or I think maybe it's 4-1 or something. But I won that one, so I had a good time playing in the Jawa format last year. As you guys know, I love playing WAP, and WAP shines when a lot of those big dark side decks are out of the meta. So we'll see if maybe I can get my WAP on.
Everybody, Jerry's playing WAP. So
they knew that anyway.
Play your invasion now.
I love playing invasion against WAP. I'll take that every day of the week. Oh yeah.
I used to love playing the invasion side of it.
Oh, okay. We'll have to play that sometime.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I want to. You know what? You guys play it. I'll commentary.
There we go.
Jerry knows that I love gambling, so
you do.
Yeah, he's a compulsive gambler.
How many beer? I mean, okay, I'm going to say this on the gambling front. Jerry still hasn't played. How many OCS games have you played, Jerry?
This month?
Any overall?
I think I've played 4 in the 4 months of the tournament.
I've played 28, so
yeah,
you're currently wearing at Worlds. You are currently wearing a Pens jersey.
My win percentage might be higher just because I'm like 2-2 or something. But anyways, no, yeah. I need to get more games in. It's weird to say that I've been busy because I haven't been. I just haven't felt the itch to get in there and play a bunch of games lately. So I need to find some decks that I'm into and start getting into it. Maybe.
Throne Room at AOBS.
See, that's the thing is if people know me, I like to play Throne Room, but like I've been playing Throne Room for so freaking long, and
because it's the best deck.
Playing against it for so freaking long, it's just like it does sort of grain on you. And I'm not a good AOBS player, so maybe that's why. Or ISB, those decks are not my strong suit in terms of dark side. I'm more of a dark side main / ROPS IE player, so. Those decks, I need to maybe just get some reps with those sort of styles and get better at it. But
IE's not a bad deck.
I mean, IE's pretty good, but it has some weak matchups, and I think people have figured out how to beat it with mains. I've played it a lot lately with Justin from Team High Ground, and he has the Hitco and TRM matchups just like on point for IE right now. So it's it is what it is, but. Definitely try to get some more games in these next few months. I definitely have at least 3 more weeks without having to go to work. So,
well, not in the OCS, but I would love to play the Invasion WAP game against you. I could throw together an Invasion deck. Haven't done it in a while, but I could do it. It's a fun deck.
All right, you got one more, right, Dan?
Yeah, I got one more. So the last one is mine, I guess. The last one we got for today. Is Jerry will play and win more games in the OCS than me.
So you have 1 win so far, and I have none.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm going to say confidently it's a hit because I'm going to try to get in at least my 8 games for my foil this month. So if I play 8 games and you play 8 games, I like my 8 games better than yours.
So, Dan, the question is, Jerry's going to win.
He's going to play and win more.
Play and win more?
Yeah.
I think it's a hit.
Oh,
love it.
Jerry, don't let me down now.
All right, yeah, I'll put a table up right now.
Oh, here we go.
So, okay, Adam Fletcher had just posted an interesting stat. I am currently 14 and 15 in the OCS this month or this year.
I'm 1-4. Oh,
You're 1-4.
I thought I had 2 wins.
Yeah. Oh, well. I'm going to say it's a miss. Jerry, get off the League of Legends and play some OCS games.
I've been playing a lot of video games. I don't know.
Yeah, that's actually one thing. Besides on that front, Jerry and I are actually going to start streaming us playing League. We get drunk and have a lot of fun. So
yeah, we'll do that. Not on the PC channel.
Not on the PC channel.
We'll post it on Slack chat stuff.
So if you guys want to watch some shenanigans at some point, we'll let you know.
That'll be good.
I am going to play 12 games, and I'm at least going to go 7-5 this month.
7-5. Well, geez. Are you sure you haven't been hitting anything before
Jerry,
this show?
Just go play 8 games, Jerry. Go 8-0 and just quit.
Oh yeah, I go 8-0. I'm definitely playing my last 4 games.
Okay. Hey, I'm gonna say this. Like, I've never mind. I feel good about my play right now. I really do. Like I played.
See,
I
that's the
mean,
thing.
I
I just
played.
need to find
I
some
played a
best
game earlier. No idea versus Court. Bad
Yeah, and you
matchup
beat
for no
Stubley.
idea.
Like Stubley's a top 4, top 8 kind of guy.
Oh
So
no, this wasn't against Stubley. This was against
Oh.
Pierre up in Canada.
Duberville.
Yeah,
Pierre Canada is that what you call him?
I don't know. I'm not gonna.
Pierre
I am
Canada.
not gonna.
I mean,
I'm
to
not.
be fair, all Pierres are from Canada.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. No, he played his Court versus my no idea. And I mean, yeah, I lost, but I only lost by 5. I mean, I was down at one point where he had like 30 cards in his life force to my like 18.
That's
I grinded him down.
with all the retrieval and stuff.
Yeah.
Hey,
So-
speaking of Canada, are you guys done with your swing and a miss?
Yes.
and a
Yeah,
miss?
we are done with those.
We are
Can I
done.
get one in?
Sure.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. So guys, swing and a miss or it's a hit. Marc-Andre Fleury, Hall of Fame NHL goaltender.
You had to do it. He's going to make the Hall of Fame, so yeah, it's a hit. Whether he should or not is, obviously we've debated about this for a long time back behind the scenes and in the Hockey Talk channel.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
It's
there's
a
Ming.
hit, for
Ming
sure.
comes in on the chat. Yeah, he's got you back. Yeah, I'm outnumbered by all you
Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
you are.
It's a hit. Like I still want to get my Marc-Andre. I want to get a Marc-Andre Fleury Vegas jersey, just cause.
That'd be great. Jerry, I actually, if I had you think I'm like the head of the Marc-Andre Fleury fan club.
Well,
If I were, I would have like his jersey or his hat or something, and I'd be wearing it right now. But I don't have anything. So
that's just my honorary title for you.
Yeah.
No, I mean
Yeah.
he's a very good goaltender. I feel like he's had the privilege of playing on very good teams, and he also hasn't always had the best playoff numbers. Let's just put it.
No, I mean he played on an NFL expansion team and made the Cup's finals.
He played in the NFL. Is that what you're
wow.
And-
See,
Fuck.
I didn't know that.
Fuck.
I didn't know that. Maybe he should be
You
in the
know
Hall
what
of
I
Fame.
meant?
Yeah,
Shut up.
for
Okay,
sure.
that's it for swing and a miss. We're gonna go move on. We're actually we're running out of time, so we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to our cards of the week.
oh, I didn't.
All
Dan,
right.
you're supposed to tell me if I should come up with a card of the week.
No.
So I don't get a card of the week.
You can tell one earlier after we're done. So Jerry, we're gonna start you off. Your card of the week is.
My card of the week is sort of a dark side light card, and I'm going to talk about the dark side card and the light side mirror of it, because my dark side card is Director Orson Krennic. I don't know about you guys, but undercover spies are flipping everywhere right now. So is it R3PO? Is that the mirror sort of card for this guy?
No,
The one who
Honestly,
does
don't
kind of.
know. I don't remember if
K3PO?
it's- Yeah, I don't know which one
or-
it is. Honestly, they
Yeah,
changed the name. I
it's
think.
some sort of Hoth 3PO droid.
It's R3PO.
And he does the same sort of thing where if he's with an undercover spy, you lose 2 force. I guess the old, like the non-virtual R3PO, I think pings 4 force
Yeah.
on U3PO if he's undercover. But basically, it's just undercover spies are everywhere, and you've got to have answers to them. But people are already sort of countering the sorry about the messes and things like that. So like obviously Cornhorn and Probot, those kind of characters are always good. But I mean, there's things that, like Never Yarnall is a thing now. It's undercover, and that being prepared for undercover spies right now is very necessary. So Orson Krennic / R3PO, those cards should be on your radar.
Yeah, this is the Chris Kelly version of Krennic. I mean, there's 2 out there. There's this one, the Tom Haid. This one's a little bit more open-ended. You play it a little in some other decks. He's really good in like decks like Map or Ral Ops or anything. So, I mean, he's a pretty good card. Good stats and everything. The best part about him is he's a pilot, so he works.
And he's a commander, right? So he works with like the Admiral's Order or other cards.
He's a
that need
leader.
commander.
So
Leader.
Yeah,
he's ability 3, works with code clearance. So he can get it to like ability 8 with that on the table, and that's pretty strong. So
I mean, he's a good card.
Specifically him, and then also sort of like the undercover text, him and R3PO. Those cards should be on your radar right now, because undercover spies I feel like are just flipping everywhere, as well as the answers to the usual answers to those. Yeah. So if you can't get your force drains through, something like this or R3PO will help you get damage through regardless.
So I mean, not even that. Your your battle destinies can't be modified or canceled. That's
great.
Another good part.
That's really good text too. No idea with Cassian Andor, he's canceling shit left and right these days.
Well, not only that, I mean, he OA. They're tracking us, stuff like that. So yeah, it's a good card.
Yep. So that's
card, Jerry.
That's my card of the week. Yeah, I only pick good cards.
Well, I mean, you picked multiple good cards. You played Mindful of the Future last week twice.
Hey, that card is so good, I picked it twice.
Yeah. So I think for mine, I'm going to go with something that isn't as good as it once was, but it's like a nostalgia thing for me. I'm going to go with Queen Amidala from Theed. I know Jerry and we're both big WAP players, but with the new mall and everything, you're going to see a lot less WAP because he cancels her game text. Well, her game text is really, really good. She makes all your Republic characters defense value +2, gives them immunity to attrition, and she's immune to You're Beaten and Sniper. So the only real way to get rid of her, especially in a WAP deck, is by drawing a 3, but you're going to lose somebody else first. So...
Yeah, and there's always cards like her support cast, like Jairus Janik and Tanaka and stuff. Those guys are always keeping her alive. But yeah, I mean, Queen Amidala from Theed, not just for the WAP deck. I also feel like this is like in my opinion, this is the best AI / one of the best pictures on a card. So yeah, Queen Amidala is always going to be thumbs up from this guy.
Just got a one from B. Fred.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
he's getting a lot of publicity on this show tonight.
You know what? B. Fred's a good guy. He really
is. A good guy.
If you don't like B. Fred, you're doing something wrong. Matt, do you have a card of the week?
I do have a card of the week. Thanks for asking, Dan.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it.
My card of the week. Now, I want to see someone play this card this week. I don't know if do you guys still do the...
we do have a deck building challenge. Not a lot of people have actually been following with the deck building challenge, so...
Okay. Maybe we can add this one in.
Too hard.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to give you the deck building challenge this week, Matt.
I get it.
Yeah, our multimedia and special projects advocate. So this is our deck building challenge to everybody. Again, the prize will be a big, a giant legend objective.
Okay, so this isn't quite okay. I need a second to think about the deck building challenge. I have a card of the week.
Okay.
Maybe I can tie it in, but for the deck building challenge, I have had a lot of other ideas in the past, but I gotta like back in my brain to figure them out. My card of the week though is a Hoth Lightside Interrupt called Fallback. So Hoth Interrupt 5 Destiny. If opponent just initiated a battle at an exterior site with more than double your total power, use 1 force to cancel the battle and move all your characters there to an adjacent site for free where the opponent has no presence. So it is not a react away from the battle, so it cannot be canceled by things like Get Combo.
Okay.
You are susceptible to like a firepower, losing 2 to that.
Mm-hmm.
But being that it's not a react, I think it's an interesting way to add a little bit more evasion to the light side package, which I love the light side tricks that they have. And it's got to be...
Cards like Dodge and It's a Trap and etc. They have answers.
Yeah, they do. And Dodge is a react as well. So
someone in chat is saying that card is not programmed on GIMP currently.
It is not.
It is not.
Okay.
So deck building challenge: play with Fallback in your GIMP deck.
That's more possible than the ones that we give people. So,
I heard someone actually did the trash compactor one, right? That was a good one.
Yes. So we had the trash compactor.
It ended up playing against Justin Desai. That was Paul Coggins from Team High Ground, and he ended up playing against Justin Desai. He lost, but he was within like 5 life force of winning. It was very So we gave him the win for that one for sure.
Okay, and you guys had a creature one with Court, I think.
Yes, you had to feed 2 characters to either a Rancor or a Sarlacc. Ryan Searson won that one.
All right, and then was there another one?
We've done blow up either Alderaan or Jada City with the Death Star, not the Death Star Assault Squadron, but Vader, his TIE, Black 2, and Black 3 with their respective pilots on the board. So, again, nobody's... we've had that people are saying that one is really hard because it's too card intensive. We've asked people to do Watch Your Step with either running 2 runs, so you can either do Kessel Run or Rykar's Run twice.
Kessel.
So
that's a good one.
I think we need to do something a little bit easier.
Okay, so a little bit easier. So let's see here.
Putting you on the spot.
Yep.
Yeah, I wish I'd have had someone like Dan to tell me what to prepare for.
Well,
Hey, Dan, should I prepare for
I
tonight?
honestly forgot about the deck challenge, but
I had some PMs from Ryan Saracen when he completed one of those. He pitched a few.
Yeah, he actually did. So FYI, an update: Greg Shaw just won against Jared.
Okay.
So Greg is 11-1 this month.
All right. Well, I think we all thought he would go 11-1. I just didn't think he was a lock to make the top
Chris
two.
Kelly just has his one. Cross Darth Vader in Hitco.
Okay, so he's talking with using Anakin Skywalker then?
Using an Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There it is.
I was going to go with Hyperdrive. Stack 6 cards on credits.
That's
okay.
That's
6 is a lot.
You know what? We're going to go with that one.
Let's go with Chris Kelly's too. Go with both.
You could even do that without playing Hyperdrive and just start credits will do fine.
You could do that, yeah.
Tatooine or something like that too.
Yeah.
So just
you're cutting out, Matt.
Yeah, Matt was breaking up, at least there for me. You were.
Sorry. So just a stack.
Matt, Matt's breaking up pretty bad.
You want to reconnect, Matt. Seems like you might. Connection might be a little squiffy.
Yeah, even yours a little choppy too, Jerry. But
okay,
maybe it's my internet.
Who knows?
Okay.
We were just about done anyway, but
I mean, the only thing we have left is the spelling card challenge.
The spelling challenge. We need to be able to hear each other well for that.
Matt, are you still there?
I'm still here. Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Okay, yeah, you're good now. Okay, so we'll make this really quick.
I want to up the ante on the challenge of credits will do fine.
Okay.
If anyone the first person to successfully do it, whatever prize Dan sends them, I will also send them a Watto's Chance Cube.
Watto's Chance Cube.
Ooh.
So
that's pretty sweet.
Go to the junkyard, stack some cards, you get a Watto's Chance Cube.
There you go. That's 2 prizes. So this week's deck building challenge: stack 6 cards on credits will do fine.
CRG is all over this.
CRG, first one. Okay, so last thing we have before we sign off for tonight. We've been doing a spelling challenge for like the last couple of weeks. Matt, you are our guest speller this week.
I love it. This is the only reason I joined the show.
Yep. Oh, so right now only Taco Bill is successful. Okay, your card is Telvin Corey.
Okay.
Do you know who that is?
He's the silly hat guy, right?
That's the silly hat guy from Coruscant. He's a rare.
He's a dark side alien, from episode 1.
Beggar and Frozen Assets are care and sold, so he cancels those 2 cards.
He cancels my favorite card, I know.
Your Thieves, Gamblers, and Information Broker at related Tatooine sites are power +1, while at the Cantina, Mos Espa, or Marketplace may draw 1 Battle Destiny if able to otherwise. And he's deployed for 0.
Okay. So you picked a hard one. I've got a good guess here. All right. So Telvin Corey. TELEVEN, and then the second word is KORYY.
So close. But
so it's
so miss.
It's TELEVAN. You said VEN.
I did, yeah.
And then it's KOREYY. You had the double Y, but you missed
double Y. The part.
Yeah. The double Y
that was a good one.
That was a good one, Dan. Definitely.
So again, Bill Kafer is the only person to successfully spell a card.
Yep, got to give shout outs where they're due. Congrats, Bill, so far. But hey, that was a pretty good attempt. That was was better than Hayes' attempt on Mithron or Durero. But to be fair, that one last week was really hard.
I'm pretty sure I can spell that one.
Okay.
Oh, can you? All right, so
Okay, hold on.
Yeah. Set 11 Thrawn.
All right. Let me know when you're ready, Dan.
Hold on. I'm actually going to pull it up.
I'm pretty sure I got this.
Okay, I'm going to put the card up on the screen for all of our viewers.
I don't have the stream up. I cannot see the card.
I've got it up on my screen, so I can
so
see.
I'm going to say this: if you get this, I will give you the win. Okay, just because you
might as well give him the win because he outplayed Hayes.
I'm not doing it for the win. I'm just doing it to outplay Hayes. Is all. Yeah, get some revenge for Game 8 of Worlds last year. So,
there you go.
So, all right.
Okay, one moment.
Oh, still waiting.
Okay, you know what? I'll make you a deal. If you spell it right, you will get to pick the card for next week, and I will give you. And I will also let you pick somebody in the chat to give a prize to.
Okay. You have to tell me who's in the chat because I don't have the chat up.
We got 15 viewers.
All right.
Okay, your card is Mythron Renudo. Go.
MITTH
I want the apostrophe. Okay, I was going to say I want the apostrophes.
I got it. Apostrophe RAW apostrophe NURUODO.
So close. So close. No.
What did he mess up?
Wait, did he get it?
Spell it again.
MITTH apostrophe RAW apostrophe NURUODO.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right? You got it.
That's
I thought.
Correct.
Okay. So the only reason I said you didn't get it was literally because I couldn't read it on the screen because it looked like there was an A instead of an O at the end. So yes, congratulations, congratulations, Matt, on besting Hayes Hunter.
First person in the chat to say Diplo is the best objective ever wins whatever Dan was giving away.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
What was the prize you're giving away, Dan?
Giant. You know how we have the big.
It looks like it was
mind what you have learned.
Mike Turner, I think. Was
you get a bigger objective. You get a bigger legend objective.
Are we criticizing for spelling? Because he definitely spelled it wrong. He spelled best wrong.
I was going to say this is a spelling challenge.
I guess spelling should count. Okay, I think
I don't
know, Matt. It's up to you. Matt, it's up to you. Do you want him to spell it out? What? We lost you again.
Yeah, Carulli. I think we got a winner from Sergeant Trey.
Okay, so we got a few. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna give it to Sergeant Trey.
Well, I was gonna say Gornal also got it in there too. Diplo's the best objective, but he didn't.
But he abbreviated objective. I'm not. If this is a spelling challenge, I'm not taking any abbreviations.
There you go. Okay, Sergeant Trey, you win. I want you to PM me. I want you to PM me your address, and we'll get you that objective. Okay,
right, so I get to pick the spelling card for next week. Is that right?
Yes. But you're going to have to, in secret.
You don't decide now. Just send it to us.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, in secret, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that was pretty much all we had planned. Yeah, Dan?
That's pretty much all I had planned for tonight. I want to say thank you, as always, to my co-host, Jerry. I'm going to say thank you to our special guest, Matt. Also, I'm going to say this. Every week I'm going to be, if anybody does watch PTI, if you want to have something posted, just let me know. I just put down to lose one to Visage for this week because I didn't have anything else. My name on the forums. My name on the forums is the same name everywhere else. It's DTARTAGONE. DTartag1. Same name.
I'm really hoping he misspelled that.
I'm a good speller. I'm bad at pronunciations.
We'll have to get you to right now. It's mirrored on the Twitch stream. Your little whiteboard. So we'll just have to. There's a setting in your webcams to flip it around.
Okay, yeah. I see what you're saying.
We'll get that fixed for next week. I promise.
Your handwriting.
Or your handwriting is backwards.
My handwriting is the way it should be. It's just I didn't think ahead. I literally did this 5 minutes before the show started.
No, all good.
But again, thanks to everybody. Thanks to everybody who tuned in. Next week, I'm hoping to have one of the members who does the bad deck breakdown. So I'd love to get one of those guys on. So if you guys want to come on, let me know. Until that,
your direction.
Yeah, until next week, signing off.
Yep. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks,
May the force be with you
again.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for being
Take
here,
care.
Matt.
Thank you.